Alright, folks. Hey. How's it going? Thanks for showing up for the stream. Love your start screen. Thank you, Lunar Shocker. From Paprika. My favorite movie of all time, I think. Yeah. Probably. It's up there. Definitely been my favorite movie for the past 4 or 5 years. Before that, it was probably Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused is still up there. It's still top 5. But yeah, movies. I love movies. In case you couldn't tell. Right. Today, we're going to be playing a bit of SnowRunner. I haven't played this on the stream yet. I played MudRunner for a bit. But if you're not aware of SnowRunner, it is a trucking game. You basically just gotta fucking get shit from A to B, but A to B can be a little bit difficult, so that's the fun part of the game, you know? What else was I gonna say? SnowRunner, yes. So yeah, I've been playing this a whole bunch, and I was gonna stream it on Friday, but because I visited somewhere else and messed up my recording stuff because I took HDMI cables, I had to put them all back in. I put them all in wrong, and then trying to fix that, I broke other parts of the stream. So it was a whole kerfuffle, and I have this, like, right, see, here's my truck. I've got to get this big container back here to, like, the other side of this little map. So I've already plotted out a course. This is what this blue line is. This is like waypoints that you add yourself. And I have to take this long way around to get all the way up here, because there's certain bridges that haven't been repaired, and I've only got 2 logs on me. I'm passing by a log station, but yeah, like certain bridges need materials, and it's a very fun game. I've been watching Limmy play it a lot, and that's what got me to get it. And it's just a bit of fun, really. This is my wee truck. One of my many trucks. Got a lot of the bastards. Yeah, so let's just have a good time. Let's chill out and get from A to B. Alright, so like this is the game. Because this is a sequel to MudRunner, which was a sequel to the indie game Spin Tires. So look, I'm kind of stuck now, so I have to switch to all-wheel drive to... Oh, don't even let me out. So I've got to go into a low gear, because I'm going through mud. Go on that differential lock. Oh, thanks for the follow, Ambro. I think I'm in your Discord. Hey. I'm very bad at Discord. I turned 29 this week, and I feel like I'm way too old for half the internet already. Like, Discord and Snapchat are just like, I've used them and I understand how they work. I'm just like, I don't have the need for them. But I do need, like, I downloaded TikTok recently because I've been on Twitter way too much, and Twitter just depresses the fuck out of me, because it's just full of people who think they know what they're talking about, or at least can talk with a voice that sounds like they know what they're talking about, and half the shit is just bullshit. Especially when you're on trans and political Twitter, and it's just like bullshit. And then you go, like, you start looking at some film Twitter shit, and it's just like a bunch of people who love movies that I hate and I don't understand, and they're all the same movies. Like, well, I don't hate movies, but like stuff like Christopher Nolan films, I find them to be quite average, you know? And the fact that he's like one of the biggest like auteur filmmakers out there right now really depresses me, because at least with like auteurs of the past, they have been, he's not that interesting. He doesn't really push the medium in a way. See, I'm getting all pretentious already. He doesn't push the medium in a way which I find to be good. He just seems to be like making James Bond movies, but with like a fresh coat of paint, a bit like the aesthetic that he came up with and everyone ripped off, so all movies look like that. Like Ubiquity is one of the weirdest things when it comes to media, because like someone will become popular and everyone will rip them off, and if you don't like that thing that became popular in the first place, it's just a flood of this like one thing. Like, yeah, like, I don't hate mumble rap, but it's like, it was one of those things where it's like mumble rap was everywhere a few years ago. It's still like, we're still like in it, but like when it first popped off, it was like mumble rap and not grime, what's the other one, trap beats and stuff like that. It was just like, you could not avoid it, and I like that music. I love hip hop. That's why I don't like Hound. Not to get sidetracked, but yeah, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, Christopher Nolan became really popular, and I don't hate his movies. I find them okay. They get you to the end of them fairly well, and they can be enjoyable at times. But it's one of those things where I find his influences are more interesting than him, which makes me sad. With Paprika, my start screen is basically was what? No! Oh, dick. See, this is what can happen in SnowRunner when you're not paying attention. Your cargo will get misplaced. Now I have to get another truck. I have no idea where my other truck is. It's not in this map. So that means I have to drive it a long way. Fuck. Oh well. Let's see. No. Global map. So yeah, this is how SnowRunner's set up. So you've got like 3 big areas: Michigan, Alaska, and Russia, Taymyr, somewhere in Russia. And then you got like 4 smaller maps that are interconnected, and you sometimes have to take things from like one map all the way to another map, which is not as well connected. Fun times. But now I've got to figure out where my trucks are. Maybe Island Lake? International Paystar. Let's see what she's sporting, because I'm looking for a truck with a crane big enough. That other truck did have a crane, but it's not big enough to lift that cargo container. So I've got to go get another truck, drive it around, help me. It's because I was too busy talking about Christopher Nolan. He gets me in that way, you know. Okay. I was in Drummond Island, I think. Oh, where's all my markers gone? Oh, fuck. It'll probably show back up when I go back through. Alright. So I need to go to Drummond Island with this baby. He thankfully has a bunch of fuel. That's another thing you've got to be wary of, is fuel consumption. The whole thing, like the whole like narrative reason in the game for you doing all this stuff is like setting up oil rigs, like abandoned drill sites. I think I built an oil rig out here at one point. Maybe that was in somewhere else. Okay, so let's plot out where we need to go. We need to go bip, 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 Oh, this is a fairly straight shot. This should be easy. So yeah, sort of after every junction, I tend to put a waypoint just so I don't have to open up the map 500 times while making a journey, because it sort of breaks it up in a way. I don't find it pleasant. I don't find it pleasant to be opening the map all the time, because you're like driving as well. Like in the fiction of the game, if I'm role playing a trucker, if I'm role playing someone who can drive, then that's I should be checking the map. Also, yeah, because you couldn't really have GPS for this kind of job, because you're on like these dirt roads that no one goes on. We probably don't have much like satellite data for this area either, because it's very uninhabited. But it's just a game. It's not real. But also, like, I think when you open your map, everything keeps going. So if you forget to put on your handbrake, you're gonna roll down a hill and crash into something. It's whack. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I'm doing alright. I've been writing. I've been talking, like, I've been away for a week. What the fuck is this? Bam. Spammers in chat. Lovely. How do I chat settings? Is there an auto ban? Manage moderation settings. Sorry, folks. Gives big follows. Okay, accept. Alright, can I go back to my chat now? Sorry, I just got a bunch of spam in chat. It's not nice to deal with. Alright. So what was I talking about? Yeah. I've been writing. Well, I was away for a week. I was visiting a friend. We kept it like quite socially distant. We didn't really go out and like see people or go to the pub. The family did though, which was kind of terrifying. Like I like, even though things are reopening and stuff, I still don't feel confident. I'm 100% confident in a second wave coming. I'm not looking forward to like going to eat out again. I think I've got to do that soon. So yeah, but yeah, I've been writing a zine. If you don't know, I'm a writer, and I've made a zine last year where I came out as trans, and it was called 6 Short Stories About Dogs. And yeah, that was like, at the time, that was always like volume 1. Oh, I think I'm caught on something. Okay, let's get this winch. Don't know what the hell I'm caught. Yeah, so I've been writing, and I need to actually do some writing. I've written maybe the first, yeah, definitely like the first act of something so far. Look at that abandoned thing. That was probably me. Yeah, I've written the first act of one story. Oh yeah, like original zine, it was volume 1. There's always plans to do more volumes. I've got ideas for ones in the future. But this one's going to be about cars, so 6 short stories about cars. And I really like the story I'm writing, and it's not like I'm putting it off because I don't know what to write. I know exactly where the story is going, and it's basically like flowing out of me every time I sit down, even though it's like, you say that as a writer, it still takes a little bit of effort. You know, you still gotta think about shit. But it's like, I'm not worried about like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Who should show up? I'm like, alright, I'm at this point in the story, this should happen next, but it's like, I'm also worried that it might get too long, because there's I found out about this literature magazine in Scotland. They're accepting commissions, so I want to get it done when their submission window's open, or by then. I think that's in September. What made me want to be a writer? I have no idea. I think when I was like 16, no, 15, like, how old am I? Yeah, 16, 17. I was working in a care home kitchen, and like one of the chefs there was like big into his movies, and he wanted to be a writer as well. So I was like, I like really looked up to this guy. He was also taller than me, which you don't see that often. Yeah, and yeah, there was like something that, but it's like, it's something that I've always had in me. Like, I've always had like quite an imagination to like, I'm always just like bored and making up stories in my head, and like being a writer is one way to tell stories. Like, I see myself as a storyteller at the end of the day, but I say writer because I don't exactly, I'm not really qualified to do much else other than writing. Because like, even like the idea of directing a film, I do not want all that responsibility heaped on me. I'd rather be the writer, or like, I'd rather be at the start or the end of a film process. Like, I want to be an editor as well, but that's a difficult thing to get into, especially now. Like, most freelance editing is going to be for internet video, not feature films or short films or whatever. And most people like who go into film school can like edit a film by themselves, because I'm not good at like color correction and stuff. Maybe want to work in film? Just watching way too many movies when I was a teenager, basically. And I got to a point where I started watching movies and I was like, hey, I could do this idea but better. Like, watching especially American mainstream movies at the time, this was like over 10 years ago, there was just like a lot of tedious rom-coms. I love rom-coms, but like that's one thing I'm missing, is like they've sort of been relegated to the indie movie sort of section. Rom-coms these days, there's no like big budget romantic comedies anymore starring Matthew McConaughey. Those are like a thing of the past, really, and like you'll see one every so often. But like, one to work in film is like, because film is such a dazzling medium, I would say. It's like watching it even as a kid, and like comparing that to how I watch it now. Like, now I know how exhaustive work goes into movies. Like, I can never hate a movie too much unless it's like shite. Yeah, I do need a mod. I'll mod you, Lunar. Yeah. What's another thing? How I want to get into movies. Yeah, watching movies. Watching them and then thinking, it's like, I could do a better job of this, especially like in the writing terms, like bringing stories together. Thanks for the follow, Killer G. How do I add mods? Sorry, I can't see the chat right now because I'm in the moderation bit. community roles manager. There we go. Add new. Mod. Save? Hopefully that should... how do I get back to the chat? No. Just refresh chat. Yeah. Are you a mod now, Lunar? Like, I've got other mods, but they're not, like, obliged to be in my chat and doing stuff. But yeah. I prefer doing stuff myself. But yeah, what was I talking about? Films. What made me want to get work in films? Because they're like a dazzling medium. And like, even now knowing how films are made, it's still a miracle, you know? Like, you'd think if you study something, you'll become dispassionate about it, which I do sometimes on films and like TV and stuff. Like, I feel like watching a film is work because I do a lot of media analysis and stuff, and I can't turn off that section of my brain. My favorite genre. That's a truly tough question. Like, cause like all my favorite films like tend to be like psychological thrillers, I guess. Even though I would not seek out a psychological thriller just for the fun of it, you know. Yes, psychological thrillers like Paprika. I was big into Fight Club for a while, and sort of that's how I found David Fincher's work, and sort of into Mindhunter and stuff. Even though that's more of a serial killer thing, but it's not really a horror in that way. But like I'm quite egalitarian when it comes to genres. I have genres I dislike more than others, and genres I like more than others. Like, I'm not a big fan of fantasy, especially in film. When it, like, if it's an animation, fantasy can work so well, but I think film, you need a big budget to sell it, or you need some sort of thing. You need some sort of gimmick to get me into it. Like sci-fi, I would say, is up there, but I just think that's just more because of the type of person I am. I'm quite political, and sci-fi is like probably the most political genre out there, because it's all about speculation of the future, who holds power, who changes the world. Basically, that's what you see when you're watching a science fiction. You're seeing someone speculate as to how the future will become due to what the world is now. And bad sci-fi, well, not, I mean, that's like more near future sci-fi, but like there's sort of like bad sci-fi has nothing to say. Like, even your like campy stuff like Flash Gordon has something to say. Even Star Wars has like anti-fascists. Well, yeah, Star Wars is complicated. I've got hot takes about Star Wars, as in the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope. The rest of it, I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. Especially the prequels, because I grew up with the prequels, and I do not want to remember them. But yeah, genre, I like anime. I like anime as fuck shit. So like The Matrix. The Matrix, when I was young, that was an eye-opener. I watched a lot of like behind the scenes on that, because it was like always on TV. They're like, oh wow, how did they make this movie? And obviously, being a little trans gotta love the Matrix for for that shit. Oh, cool! I get to be whoever I want inside this computer simulation. Sign me the fuck up. Yeah. So where am I going? Oh, I'm gonna go around. But yeah, I would probably say favorite genre is science fiction. If you put a gun to my head, I would say science fiction, because that can. I'll get to your question in a second. What was that thing? Science fiction, yeah, because it contains a lot of my favorite elements in storytelling. Sort of aesthetic stuff, like body horror is quite present in science fiction, like isolation, like sort of thematic stuff you get in science fiction that you can't quite get anywhere else on a regular basis. But yeah, ever considered songwriting as a method to storytelling? A little bit. Often too much. I used to be in a band a long time ago when I was a teenager, and that was something. I've been in a few bands. Yeah, science fiction it is. I've been in a few bands, but I don't have much musical talent, so to speak. That's not me dismissing myself, but like honestly, I can never be arsed sort of practicing anything, and that is what you need to do to get better at things. Getting better at that was easy for me, because like writing is a way for me to like get shit off my chest anyway. So there was like years where I was just writing blogs and stuff, and that sort of made me better, like just putting words together, you know. Like people like to think like the different disciplines of writing are like there's a huge gulf between them, like fiction and like non-fiction and stuff like that, but like learning how to put words together in any language is like the core of writing, you know. It's just like, how do you get a sentence to sound right? And then that does bring up like that does open up a little bit of a can of worms regarding like what is good writing, what is bad writing, blah blah blah. But I'm not gonna get into that. But especially like writing short fiction, like I didn't really do that until not like 3 years ago now. Like when I was in first year in uni for the second time, I started writing. There's like, you can find my Medium. I think it's just Dusty AJ Smith, and I've got a short story up there just called "The One About the Tuna Sub," which is like my Kafka-esque story about someone going to a subway and encountering a ghost, because that's the kind of stuff that I write. Okay, I'm gonna fuel up my B. Alright. Switch track. Okay, this is gonna be tough. What was I talking about? Stuff that I'm good at. Yeah, songwriting. But I've always been tempted because I love hip hop a lot, because of like sampling and stuff, and I feel like that is like such a cool thing. Like the idea of taking something that you like to make something else is awesome. And that's kind of how I work, really. Like, you find something that you like and you steal it. You like, I'm nothing against fan fiction, but fan fiction to me, like, if you want to get an audience, I think fan fiction can be quite good, because there's like already an audience out there who want to consume fiction about your favorite characters and stuff. But for me, like, my favorite part is finding stuff I like and then changing it and like ripping out like the skeleton of a story and then changing it, like the aesthetics and the characters and the history of it, but like keeping the same like core, is very interesting to me. And that's my favorite part of writing, is that process of finding cool stuff. Alright, I'll refuel. Okay. Yeah, finding new stuff, and I've wanted to like, I tinker about with like Fruit Loop Studio and stuff, and I'm tempted to try Ableton Live because I've seen Limmy streaming and using that, so like I think I have a little bit better idea of how that stuff even works. But it's one of those things, is like I've already got like 500 things still lurking. That's cool. What was I talking about? Yeah. Yeah, I've got like too much on my plate, basically. Like streaming is, to me, it's just another thing that I've done that I don't have enough time to do. Because I love playing games just by myself. Like streaming is different. Like I tend to play a lot of the games I would play normally, because I've tried to play like JRPGs and stuff on stream, but I feel like playing a long game like that, like that's a lot of commitment, and I'm like streaming like once every 2 weeks maybe, and it's gonna get worse when I go back to uni for 4th year. So yeah, I need to sort of knuckle down. I need to, like, as I was, guess this promoted this whole tangent, was the writing. So I've got to like do my writing. I've got to engage with people in my life to an extent, because I'm bad at doing that anyway. I've got like my whole transition and stuff to focus on, which is fine now, because I'm getting my HRT and stuff, and but still it's a lot of effort to be a woman, and it's more effort to be a trans woman. You know, I've got like extra shit that I need to. I've got to fucking shave, and I've got to fucking look presentable and shit, because society demands that of me. Am I studying writing? I'm studying digital media, which is a fancy way of saying media studies / production degree. So I've done writing in uni. Like I've produced radio plays, short films, documentaries, and yeah, this past year I produced a lot of essays. And some JPEGs, and an animation in After Effects. So like, I enjoy just creating stuff, first and foremost. But I would not want to be what people call a content creator in an ideal world, but I feel like that's the only way you can go these days. If you want to work in media, you've got to show that you can do it by yourself, and I think that's cool. Like I've made video essays and stuff. I'm not too proud of the ones I've made. Not because they're bad or anything. I just don't think they're exciting. And boredom's a big thing. Like, I get bored of things easily when I'm creating them. Like, I will just hit a point where I'm just like, I can't be bothered anymore. So I just like basically phone it in for the rest of it, and you can really tell, like, because I've got a lot of practice writing and such, it doesn't look rushed, and it is not like it's not bad writing, it's just like boring writing, you know? It's just like it's functional. It's not like, as a writer, like this can be a bit of a trap to fall into, like in any creative pursuit. Like you've got to feel like you've got to be doing more than other people. You've got to be like showing your style and flair, and that'll come. Like you'll find your voice when it comes to creating things. I'm not sure what my voice is, but I know I have one. It's very present when I read back my own stories. I'm like, oh, that's me, baby. Only I could write a play set in space about a holographic dog telling someone to not quit their job, but they're basically saying your job is useless. And that's the dog saying that to this guy. And yeah, people are very impressed with the ideas I come up with. That's one thing. I did do screenwriting in uni a couple of times. I've written a few screenplays in my time. Even in my spare time, I've written like a whole. Knowing you have a voice, that is step one. Step two is knowing how to use that voice, which a lot of people can fail at. You know, it's not enough. Oh crap! I dropped a cargo somewhere. I completely missed that. Alright. I'm gonna try a risky move. Drilling equipment's right there. Damn. When did I realize storytelling was my passion? I'm not sure. Like, I feel like I've had problems with communication my whole life. I'm very bad at talking to people. Not in like a way where it's like I don't know what to say. I'm just more, I struggle with like processing my own thoughts and trying to communicate them. And you know, like I sort of put other people. Yeah. What's the saying? Yeah, like, but like storytelling to me is like that's a way to tell someone something, like in a roundabout way. Like a lot of my stories are about me in some way or another, even when they're like completely not about me. They're about me trying to figure out something, you know. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I strongly suspect I have ADHD. Not diagnosed, but fucking try getting a diagnosis as an adult. But yeah, it's like there's so many cool things to do in the world. That's like it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's people often talk about like how people on the lower side is like they think they know more than they do, but there's the other side where it's like once you're smart enough, once you're knowledgeable enough, you will realize how little you know, how specialized you have to be sometimes in this world. You can't just be everything to everyone, you know. There's a lot of stuff like that, but this is also the thing is like I've chosen things which require a lot of talent to do, whereas like film is for very talented people, right? But also film, there's a lot of money in it, and you need that lots of money just to pay the sheer amount of people you need to put on a production, you know. I think I'm gonna have to turn my truck around, come back. Damn. Alright. Let's lower this. Oh, no. I just want to stop engine. Alright. Yeah, it's hard finding the one thing, the one thing that you're good at. Like that often feels that way, that there are just people in this world who are just like good at one thing and they're amazing at it. But like you've got to figure out yourself. You've got to be able to listen to yourself. Like find something that you can like noodle about with. Like you're never going to be an expert immediately. Like going to uni was amazing for me because you're around other people who are incompetent in these sort of things. Like when you're doing it when you're like learning to do stuff by yourself, you're like you get a little angry at yourself because you're not immediately great at a thing. So like, and obviously like I over prepared for uni. Like there's a lot of like, because I'm closer to 30 now, and like so I was in my mid to late 20s when I started uni for the second time. I failed the first time. Like after first year, I sort of had a breakdown, but you know it happens. What was I saying? Yeah, so like I was just surrounded by people who just came straight from school, and were like, "I'll do a media degree, fuck it," and then they realized like how much of a fucking ache it is to make stuff. It's quite entertaining, but then like lecturers are always impressed by me because she's so smart. And it's like no, I've had more time to read and process a lot of information. My smartness is basically preparedness. I think I messed this up. Sunset. Sunset's nice. This is a lot of what this game is. You get into a situation and you slowly. Shark's moving slowly is doing it. There we go. There she is. And yeah. But like this is why I like playing games like this. If we're talking about creative stuff and everything. This game is meditative. You're focusing on doing something. And there is like you fail or you don't. It's not like a creative thing where you get criticism, like all kinds of criticisms. You get people saying it's great, and you don't know if they're telling the truth. You get people saying it's shit, and you don't know if they're telling the truth. And like the only person you can trust is yourself, but everyone's arguably their own harshest critic, and that's not going to be helpful sometimes. Sometimes you've got to find the enjoyment. Can you explain the little object game? I'm in a truck, and I've got to get things from a place to a place. That's basically like, right. Like over here, I have my truck with a crane, and there's this big cargo container, and there's this truck. The cargo container fell off, and I've got to get that cargo container all the way up this path, this windy road up to this port. And that's basically what you do in this game. See, there's like all these, see how much I've been playing it, like all these jobs that you've got to do, and it's basically, hey, we've got this cargo, can you get it to the other side of the map for us? And now I've like played it so much that it's not just like going down a little bit mud road delivering a stack of logs. Now it's bring this whole cargo container with drilling equipment in it all the way to the port on the other side of another map. Yeah, but it's fun, and like it's the good thing about playing games like this, like work games I think I would call them, where you're just like, you're basically just doing someone's job. This one's a bit more interesting because it's like extreme lorrying. Basically, you're out in you got off-roading and stuff, and you're going through water, and you're using winches to pull yourself through marshes and swamps. It's a bit fantastical of a work game rather than like stuff like House Flipper or like Truck Simulator, like American or Euro. Oh, thanks for the host, Dan, bro. Yeah, so yeah, the point of this game is chill, but I feel like games like this are great for me streaming because I can just talk shite as I'm playing it. I don't have to use too much of my, like, I have to use my brain to play this, obviously, but I'm not using like the intellectual side of my brain, not like the analytical processing side of my brain where I'm like having to solve puzzles and stuff. I'm just using like your functional side of the brain. It's like, hey, just press button, do thing. Get like walk. The part of your brain that lets you walk, basically. Not sure. I've been watching some Vsauce. Like, I've never been a Vsauce watcher per se. Like, I would occasionally watch their videos. I don't know, is it just Vsauce Michael? Or is it there's got to be a whole team behind Vsauce at this point. I was going really slow because my gear was low. Thanks, man. We should probably put it in low gear anyway, because it's going through a swamp. But yeah, so I've been watching Vsauce, like, because I was visiting a friend, and just like when I'm like chilling with people, there's nothing I like more than just watching YouTube. Like, because I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch like a lot of gaming stuff, like Northern Lion, Game Grumps sometimes. Just like to put on in the background. I like having someone talking in the background and doing something, because it like stimulates me, I guess. Alright, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. So the object of what I'm doing right now is I've got to get that cargo container up there onto this trailer down here without breaking everything. I do it to myself sometimes. So I'm gonna change my truck. Yeah, thankfully. So yeah, so I've been chilling with friends, watching YouTube. What else was I saying? Yeah, that's like my favorite thing to do, especially like watching daytime TV shit. Like, I'm not a fan of the term guilty pleasure, because I don't think you should feel guilty about like consuming certain medias just because you don't think they're made for you, and like it introduces an element of shame in what you like, and I feel like that is quite harmful. But there's also a lot of media out there that is kind of just, it's rubbish. And it's okay to like rubbish. I'm a big fan of liking rubbish. My favorite movies are ones that no one else likes. And that's how it should be. Well, my favorite movie is Paprika. A lot of people like that, but I've got like a Zardoz poster over there. That's a very contentious movie. Okay. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet for this. This is quite. Stick on every little thing I have to make sure I don't just tip this thing. Because if I tip it, I've got to fucking tip it back over because the engine will stall. Yeah, so what was I saying? Guilty pleasures, you shouldn't feel shame in watching certain things. Unless they're like, you should feel shame for it. Like, unless you're consuming very, very bad media. Like, if you're like watching what's the one, Triumph of the Will or whatever the Nazi one is. Like, yeah, you should feel shame watching that. And I, like, a couple times in film school, stuff like that, like, have lecturers be like, oh, but it's actually, like, there's stuff to be taken from it, and it's been taken. Like, anytime you see shots of large crowds of soldiers, that's taken straight from Nazi propaganda, and that is, I don't know how I feel about that, because that's a thing. Because like Star Wars Force Awakens, there's like that shot of, I think, whatchamacallit, Hux screaming at the top of his lungs. And yeah, that's like basically ripped directly from. But yeah, you shouldn't feel shame. Like, so I've been watching Vsauce and stuff like that because, like, I'm a smart bitch, apparently, sometimes. Okay. Yeah. But it's fun to learn things and like this sort of edutainment stuff like happening on YouTube, like with video essays and stuff like Vsauce. Like, I find it great. Like, people should be like trying to educate people while like educational systems across the world sort of fail for 99% of the people out there. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a crying shame that people have to sort of fill in the gaps and do this entertaining stuff. But it's also it's good. Like, video essays, I don't know how I feel about video essays. Like, I've made them and I enjoy watching them sometimes. But sometimes I'm just like, do we really need 50 million video essays on how Miyazaki is the best anime director that white people have heard of? Not even white people, like non-weebs. And yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a weeb. Only ironically. Because there's, yeah, I don't believe, because it's like this is the whole patriotism thing. I don't believe worshipping a country, whether it's your own or someone else's, is behavior that should be encouraged, let's say. Okay. Look at this mangled trucks. Let's hope this works. Unpack. What if I attach winch? No. Yeah. This is a predicament I've got myself in. Yeah, US is crazy. It's not that much better here in the UK. We just sound posher on average, which is, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, like sort of mask stuff that's been happening in the UK and US, and like people going on these massive social gatherings is just like horrifying. And like education in the UK is terrible. Like, you might see people on the TV talk all posh and stuff, but they went to schools that not many people get to go to, you know. You have to be born into the right family in order to go to those schools, which is like in the UK, there's like the class system is incredibly reinforced by the media. Like, you will get like on average probably like one working class person to every three sort of upper middle class to upper class person on TV, like in presenter roles and stuff. And it's like, yeah, like it's one of the reasons I don't like Benedict Cumberbatch. A, I don't think he's a great actor. Like, not as good as people say he is, or at least like all the roles he seems to get. But also, he's like Poshel McPoshface, honestly. Like, that name in itself is just like screams like I'm from the aristocracy. And yeah, it's a tough. Third time's the charm. Oh, that's better. That's better. Yeah. But yeah, the world's falling apart. The best we can do is just, I don't know, keep ourselves entertained. Oh, that's depressing. Like, I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I'm like almost done with Umbrella Academy season 2 already. That just came out on Friday. I feel bad because it's like binging, you know. Okay. Yes. Okay, now I've got to somehow turn this truck around and go all the way around here again. That's gonna be fun. No. But yeah. The world's crazy. Like, I don't know who has the best education system in the world. I bet you it's gonna be some Scandinavian country done by a study that like measures things in happiness, and you're like, how can you accurately measure happiness? That's quite a feat in itself. When they're like, oh yeah, these countries with good education have higher happiness, and you're like, yeah, but like, I want to know how you measure happiness. I feel like I read a bit of a book, so don't like think that I'm being smart here or anything. But I read the start of a book called The Happiness Industry, and it's all about how like mindfulness and stuff like that has been like sort of weaponized to like patch over like the systems that we live in. Like, self-help is just another industry. Like, it's not actually there to help people, it's there to make money, which is sad because people need self-help, and people turn to it when they're desperate. And to think that, again, it's just like, it's people saying the same thing. It's like ghostwriters and stuff, all like talking about the same 5 talking points, like, oh, you gotta like tidy your house to feel happier. And I'm like, yeah, I know I feel happier after I clean, but the problem is my brain is screaming at the top of its lungs. My brain doesn't have lungs, but if they did, they'd be screaming at the top. And yeah, education doesn't prepare you for real life. It prepares you to work good, and that's pretty much it. I thought this was going to be a lot easier. I thought I was going to be done within an hour. Nay chance now. It's been over an hour. Just because I just love nattering away. Okay. Alright, we're gonna have to refuel. Yeah. Change truck. Refuel. Yeah. Ooh, someone's home. My dog's gonna start barking in about 2 minutes. Nine. Alright, so my plan is, with this little thing, I'm gonna pool. What? Why can't I? Will this work? Ooh, it does. Nice one. Oh. I'm so smart, baby. Yeah. What was I talking about? Education? Yeah, education doesn't teach you how to, like, be a functional adult. It doesn't teach you how to deal with yourself, with your emotions and stuff, which should be taught a lot more in school. I think, like, nowadays they're teaching a lot more, like, oh, here's, like, positive mental health stuff, because they can't ignore it. But, like, when I was going through school, mental health didn't mean shit. Like, I had very obvious anxiety throughout school, and I got nothing for it, other than some counseling, but it didn't really help me out too much. This truck might drown. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Why do I keep referencing Shrek? Only ever quote Shrek when I'm nervous. That's a fun sketch. Especially, like, thinking of situations where you're nervous, and that's like a very bad thing to be, like you start off the stakes quite low, like maybe like a job interview, fail the job interview because you keep quoting Shrek, and then you up the stakes a little bit. You do it in like a poker game. There's money at hand. Obviously, final legal trial, probably. That's probably the worst place to start quoting Shrek, apropos of nothing. Not guilty. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers? Like onions. Cake has layers. It's, that's a weird thing that I've been thinking a lot about recently. Is I have friends who are in their early 20s now, and they have like pretty much always lived in a world where like Toy Story and stuff exists. And I remember like Toy Story, I was very young when that came out. I was probably like 4 or 5 when it came out, and it blew my mind. But I just can't imagine like not having that experience, and that makes me feel very old. But it's okay. It's okay to feel old, I reckon. I feel like I've aged 50 years trying to just get this truck out of this. But yeah, this is the fun of the game, is that it's not just, it's not so easy, is it, being a trucker? You'd think it'd be easier, but it's no. I'm sorry, like, Americans, if you're in the chat, if you can't understand my accent. I'm not very broad, as they would say. I don't have a broad accent, but it's definitely there. I could speak an American accent, but I'm not gonna, because I hate it when people do Scottish accents at me. Like I've done American accents at American people, but I wait until they ask me to do it, and then they're floored by like how decent it is, because I just imitate them. I'm very good at imitating voices some of the time. I'm not like professional comedian impersonator grade. I'm not like getting a sketch show on the BBC full of my quirky voices, but sometimes like when you're around just someone enough, you just get the knack for their voice, and it's great. Especially like not someone that you hate, but just someone who like you just want to put words into their mouth sometimes, and it makes you laugh. Like I would just have the supervisor. He was alright. He was sort of, yeah. He wasn't a bad supervisor. He like helped with the work. He wasn't just like resting on his arse all the time, which is fantastic, and a fantastic quality in a supervisor, I feel. I had too many like bosses and managers and stuff over the years that have just been lazy bastards, and I ain't got time for that. Right, let's see, attach winch. Attach winch here. And here. Maybe this will give me a bit of leverage. I'm stuck. This other truck, I think, is just a better truck, so I'm gonna have to change to it. Alright, let's get these anchors off. Restore that crane, baby. Yeah. This is a beefier truck. This one, not so much, but it's got that little crane on it, and it's quite nifty. It's quite a nifty wee thing. But I've got like massive things. They can just like haul anything through any sort of mud, but they use a ton of fuel. Let's go down to low gear. truck is cruising. But yeah, majority of this game is just getting through it. And that's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for life, you know? You just gotta get through it. You gotta get to the other side. It can feel like a long, painful process, but you'll get there eventually. Scoot on ahead with this one across here so I can get an easy pull through here, and then I can leave it, fill up my tank. How, like, we have moved from here to here. I have no idea how I thought I was going to do this much. If I didn't crash and lose my cargo multiple times, we might have gone a bit closer, but it's part of the fun of it. I think I might go for another. I think I'll go till 5 and then wrap things up, because I can't make my own tea tonight. I just have some cheesy pasta, aka mac and cheese from a box if you're American. Gotta love that fluorescent orange cheese powder. Cheese-like powder. Cheese product. It's not food, it's product. Let's stop engine and change track. What a palaver. Thanks for watching, folks, by the way. Chat's not been super active, so I've just been nattering away by myself. It'd be like that, though. Especially when I'm struggling with my trucks. I don't know if these chains on the tires make things harder or easier when it comes to this terrain. I know they're very good on snow and ice. That's for when we get to Alaska. I'm almost done with Michigan. Like, there's factions. there's not quite factions, but there's like different like companies and like townships that you do contracts for. So they're like, oh, we need you to build bridges, we need you to bring these drills to this place. And I've done most of those main missions, and then there's also just like, there's just missions scattered about that you can find. A lot of them are like, hey, I was fishing and I got my truck stuck, can you bring it back to me? And then you're like, yeah, sure, why not? Wasn't doing anything better. This truck is so much better. I might. I might do a old switcheroo with the trailers once we get up to this clearing. Because this one's got the crane on it, and if I drop the cargo container, it's going to be much easier to pick up if you've got the truck with the crane on it. Plus this truck is just like beefier. It's got more of an engine, I think, and that's good for providing the torque it needs to get through all sorts. That should be good. So what I'm gonna do, because you can think with maximum 2 vehicles in this, you can like use the winch to pull them along, as you've seen, but you can also like it drives behind you, so you don't have to worry about it just like going out of control and stuff. And that can be good, like because like you might run out of fuel, so you want to take like a truck behind you with a fuel container in it. Detached trailer. And yeah, you get like different, you get like utility trailers which have repair stuff in them. Too far away from the other truck. Dinner. It isn't easy being a trucker. Oh, but I need this wood. I might. Why is? Am I just caught on a lip? This is real trucking problems right now. So yeah, I need these 2 stacks of wooden planks in the back of my truck. Come on. Went a bit weak there. I apologize. Okay, change. It's just over there. Why can't I just go into the map to switch to it? Fine. Play your fucking game. I'll play your game. Got no choice but. Oh. Shouldn't really be driving trucks through mud like that, I bet. It's probably a violation of like nature laws. It's just it's a game. It's what I'm doing. So I might. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna reattach. I wasted like a whole tank of petrol. Just getting from over there, just up there, you know, all the way to here. That's hardcore. I gotta say I'm not a fan of like this whole game being about oil and drilling and whatever, but thanks for the follow, FG Alicia. I'm nowhere near my destination, Alicia. Because here's where we started the stream. We started it down here, and then we had an incident around about here, I believe. No, around here. And then had the other incident there, and we've just gone here. And we still have to get across the map. But I'll save that for another stream. I think I'm only going to go for another 20 minutes or so. Hopefully I'll get there. So yeah, I'm gonna, instead of just abandoning this other truck every time I get a little bit ahead, I'm gonna take it with me. So let's get the winch attached. Well, your winch is good to get you out of situations. Yeah. It's a convoy, baby. I'm not getting hung up on ridiculous walls and rocks and stuff, hopefully. Yeah, let's see. I hope we get to a bridge at some point so I can ditch this front truck. Oh! I think I smashed the other truck, or smashed this truck? No, it was the other one. I'm gonna leave it. It's a nightmare carting about, you know. Especially like, yeah, like it's easy if you've got just like 2 trucks and you've not got like a massive trailer, but the thing's swinging about behind you. It can be a nightmare. I should put it on low gear. Thank you, winch, very good. Myself through the mud. I do love the mud physics in this game. It's very satisfying to watch your truck get stuck in the mud and deform everything around it. Alright, here's the skinny. This is a good thing. This can only be a good thing. Made a bridge, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm going to... Oh yeah, there's my supposed to detach. I'm gonna drive... Uh-oh. Actually... Don't detach your trailer when you're on a hill. There's a... Alright, I'm gonna keep going with this truck. I want to swap them about so bad, but... This game is just gorgeous though. Like... Oh. Look at that. You wouldn't expect it from a game that's just about fucking trucking. But it's got some gorgeous vistas, I believe the term is. The technical term for like a nice space within a landscape. Alright, so over here I'm gonna detach. Let's get this. Cool. Like, yeah, this game is just busy work, but I love it. It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel like I'm doing something with my life, even though I'm just playing video games. And that's the dream, isn't it? To play a game that makes you feel like you're being productive. Wonderful. still playing Animal Crossing, but like at this point, it's a chore that I do every morning. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy like just talking to my villagers and giving them clothes because all my storage in my house in Animal Crossing is just clothes. It's just tons of clothes and resources that I stockpiled that I do not need all that shit for. I don't need 500 stones and iron ores. But it means I never have to mine for them again, which is just brilliant. Wonderful. I feel like I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to say that this is going well, just in case it starts to go badly. But I might keep going until until I deliver everything to its destination. Easy. Who's my favorite villager? On my island, Pashmina. Pashmina is my favorite villager. But she's, Chevry is a close second. I've got like hot goat girls on my island, just chilling out, having fun. Like Phoebe was my first villager. I love all the ladies on my island. I think only one of the female villagers I have like let move away. Basically, I've had a cycle of men. I used to have a blue pig called Boris, and I absolutely hated him, and I could not wait until he left my village. And like I don't understand why a lot of people just hate villagers just because of how they look and stuff. But the fact that it's a pig called Boris, and the fact that Boris Johnson is current Prime Minister in the UK, I don't want that kind of energy on my island, so I just didn't talk to him and ignored him and waited until someone said, "Hey, do you mind if we kick out Boris so I can move here?" And I was like, yes. And I've felt happy ever since. But yeah, I see people playing Animal Crossing and doing like these cool, like, complete aesthetic builds of their island that is like very planned, and like they put a lot of time and effort into it. And then I look at my island, which has got way too many flowers. You can never have too much flowers, honestly. Yeah, and it's just sort of, it's not like all the villagers aren't in like one corner on a street. They're all like spread across the island, and like I've modified like the spaces where they are, like, to like sort of reflect their personalities as well and stuff. Like Chevry the goat, if you don't know her, she's basically just like a bit like Belle from Belle and the Beast, just sort of a timid book lover who's just very chill. So I gave her like a nice little garden. She's got like I think you find a recipe for like an outdoor library, which is just like a little basically a birdhouse on a stick but with books in it, and I put that outside her house. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I've got like a whole, like, all my musical instruments are lined up outside resident services, and when other animals and like other villagers like join in, it's so satisfying. I love it. Yeah, like building a pretty island, 'cause like that's the thing, if you mess it up somewhere and it's all off, that means you have to redo the whole thing. And I just went like, nope. Like I just set my houses and buildings down randomly where I thought like, oh, it'd be nice if it was here, I guess. And I've just, like, since I got the path tool, I just joined all the bits up together, and it seems like pretty chill. Like I think one of the things, like the people who do like the outlandish stuff do as well, is like try and think of your like island as just little segments, like the first sort of bit of the island I started to furnish was just the beach, because I think I got like sort of beachy stuff, like a beach ball and a towel, not like the one that you wear, but the one like a beach towel you lie down on. So I just started adding to that bit, and like added a bonfire, added like a mixer, so they're like having margaritas or whatever, and a radio that's just constantly playing like chill island beats. I love the music in Animal Crossing. I love like all of KK Slider's songs. I love the fucking tunes that play when you're just out and about. I sometimes get annoyed with them because I play the game at the same time every day, basically, in the morning. So I get a bit fed up, but like sometimes I'll go on later, especially if I'm like having to hunt bugs and stuff. Which reminds me, there's a whole bunch of bugs leaving at the end of August in the northern hemisphere, so gotta catch all those. I want to get my museum completed. I don't think it's going to take a long time because of the whole art thing that they added, which I love, but I just wish I could get that collection a lot sooner. I wish Red showed up every day, because why should he not? He's off on the secret beach, you know? And sometimes he'll just bring you 4 fake paintings, and you're just like, cool, I'll buy a fake just to put in my house, I guess. Fuck you, friend. I'll buy your fake Birth of Venus. I think that's the one I've got. One where Venus is on a clam. I've got like I think I've got 2. No, I've got the real Venus de Milo in the museum, and I've got a fake one out in my garden. I've got a skeleton in my garden. My like interior decoration in Animal Crossing is I'm not saying it's bad, but it's very eccentric, I guess is the word. I haven't like, apart from like the bathroom and the kitchen, they seem like relatively like what they are. But the main room, like the bit where you go into the house, you have a total of 3 paintings. I think I've 3 paintings and 2 statues, or maybe 4. It's such a pain, and I've museum is my pride and joy too. What was I talking about? My interior design. My interior design is weird, and yeah, the paintings and stuff. So, but like my sitting room, living room area. I think I'm gonna have to. Damn, it doesn't look like I'm gonna get through this. Well, not that actually, at least. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna take forever to fill everything in that mansion, honestly. In that museum, in the art section at least. But I've got my fossils completed. I used Nukazon twice in the same session basically, because I didn't like I would constantly go to Nuke Miles Islands to get new fruit and stuff, but didn't get oranges. Like I went to Nuke Miles Islands like 20 times in a row, like just wasting my miles. Still didn't get any fucking oranges, so I went on Nukazon and I got my oranges. That's because my anchor is sticking in the asphalt. This is dodgy. But I feel like completing the museum, the art side of it, I feel like I'm going to give up on the game well before then, but they keep releasing updates that are kind of cool. Like this latest one with the fireworks and stuff, that's kind of Dope. I did that last night. Got balloons and such. But yeah, it seems like all they do is just add like stuff that's like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then you're done with it. I'm glad we haven't had a repeat of the Bunny Day disaster. That's a shame. Nuka Zone like went really well for me. It was like within an hour, I think they both got back to me, and I was just chilling. But it's like one of those things like try like getting like at the start before you start playing Animal Crossing, just like put it up in the background. I've tried the Dream thing. I'll share my Dream code. I've shared it on my Twitter, but the Dream thing is like, it's cool. Like I would like to. I wish there was just like, show me random islands, please. Like I want to upload my island so anyone can view it, and then like just like have the ability to like just walk around other people's islands. 'Cause, like the whole visiting thing, like I've had. Do you what to play? What do you mean in there? This is not how things should be going for me right now. I don't think this path was built for what I'm trying to do to it. Do I want to play SnowRunner? I'm playing SnowRunner. You mean multiplayer? I don't have PlayStation Plus and I'm playing it on PS4, so I can't play, unfortunately. It's time to go get the other fucking truck. Baby. Let's see how far we got there. So yeah, we abandoned it here. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we abandoned it out the other side of the sign. So yeah, we got around and down here. Now we've got to, guess we can go through. I'll have to like go through the other side and just yank this thing through. I guess we can cut up here. You can get through the woods quite easy. I think I'll do that. Like, it needs more fuel anyway. I think I'll do that and then I'll finish off for the evening. But yeah, thanks for coming and chatting, folk. Those of you that are still sticking around. I love playing this game because like words just come out of my mouth, because like that's how it is playing it, but I'm just not speaking. I'm just thinking bullshit, going off on tangents. It's a good skill to have. Like I've been taught it a little bit in uni because I had to do a bit of radio broadcasting. Like not traditional, like we weren't broadcasting over the airwaves, but it was because our lecturers were radio people. We had to do proper like music radio sort of things, like speaking to the post. Like when you're introing a song, like you've got to keep talking until like just before the lyrics come in, or like the instrumentation like kicks in. Like you've got to talk over the intro to like give it that seamless feel. Right, I have no idea where I'm going actually. Wrong way? Wrong way. Name it. Mobile Valley. love this game. Honestly, it's so fun. And especially when it hits like sunset. I just love like the golden hour look of this game. Some games like really nail that sunset light filter. Gorgeous. Look at it. Fun times. I love to be trucking. Getting important things to people. I would totally be a trucker if that was like I had a driving license, like if I learned how to drive and wasn't scared of driving. I would totally love to do trucking like this. But also I would like I would like to do it in a world, you know, like a kind of a future world sort of thing where it's not like petrol, but you're still like going through like nature environments, but you're like sort of maybe magnets and shit. I don't know. I want to see cool stuff all over the place. Damn. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I know some people who stream for hours and hours, and I just can't. I find it very hard to sit still for a long time. Even though this game is very good for making me focus. Because normally, like, by the time the 1 hour mark was hit, like, I'd normally like go out for a smoke or something, need to go get a snack, but I've been pretty decent with just my water here. Just chatting away. Getting a wee bit hungry, to be honest, but hey, that's life. Life is just getting hungry all the time until you die. It's sad when you think about it that way, but it helps me to think about it that way. Like survival is such a chore, honestly. I don't want it. I don't want to have like bodily obligations, you know. If like I didn't have to go to the toilet or eat or drink or anything ever again, I'd gladly take it. Like if as long as it was like I would survive. Like of course I fucking love food, but like I could be doing so much better things with my time, like playing SnowRunner on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Dusty AJ Smith. That's me. So yeah, it's like we're getting towards the end of the stream now. My brain's starting to feel a little bit empty, which is good. It's a good thing, you know. Your brain doesn't have to be full all the time. Take a break. Chill out. Have a Kit Kat. I don't have any Kit Kats. I eat Kit Kats wrong, but I don't know if I do it on purpose or not. I honestly feel like it tastes better. Like splitting them into like little fingers, it's like it's alright, but like just taking a big bite out of them, it like sort of complicates the texture of it, which I find to be very satisfying in some way. I'm going really slow. It's getting nighttime in the game. You know, have your highlights, the headlights on. Not your highlights. Well, I think that is. I need to do that. Yeah, those are your full beams. Are those highlights your full beams highlights, or is your dips? Despite being the co-host of a car movie podcast. Don't actually know that much about cars. I know a little bit. I know like how an engine works, I guess. It explodes and causes energy to happen. Like that's what the cylinders are. It like compresses down, and then the spark plug, if it's a petrol, if it's diesel, it's just all through pressure, I believe. But yeah. And I know that somehow gets power into the wheels, and that's how cars and lorries and trucks and anything with wheels and a combustion engine, I think that's how it works. Okay. So, Like, I want to get this truck out. I want to get this truck out before I finish. This sad truck is stuck amongst the rocks. I think I might nip up this way. I think that's better. This could all end in disaster. But I think I'm gonna save, because I haven't been playing SnowRunner much lately. I've been playing a lot of Hitman 2. I love Hitman games. I think I just finished all the maps for the first time. I don't have any of the Hitman 2 DLC, but I've got like all the Hitman 1 maps and stuff that I would like to try out in the Hitman 2 engine. Because that seems fun. But yeah. I think I might save SnowRunner, because it is like quite a good mental health game for me. It's good to have something to focus on, which is a little bit challenging, but it's not like Dark Souls and shit like that. It's not like I am having to do homework in order to be good at this thing. I just need to pay attention, focus, and do what's in front of me. That's some free therapy for y'all. Sorry for being a Scottish person who says y'all, but saying yous can be a bit aggressive. You folk. That's the one thing about being on the internet, is like I do censor myself a little bit, because you don't want to swear too much. It can put some people off. I don't really get put off by people swearing alone. Like how they swear, I get put off more by. Like you can just learning how to swear as a kid was a whole deal, you know. All right, let's refuel this, and then let's detach for now. This truck is nearly beefy enough to pull this thing through, but I could dare. You just gotta believe. Oh, it's very dark on the stream. Sorry folks if you can't see what's happening right now. Nothing's happening right now. It's really stuck in there, I think. It's moving a wee bit. I've had a lot of incidents like this in this game. It's not uncommon. I've had I was going up quite a steep muddy hill, and just some of the trucks couldn't quite. Yeah, you couldn't, yeah, like I was stuck and you just couldn't like quite get up, and then so you're having to get trucks around to the top just like pull up these trucks, and it was a nightmare. And then you like, because I didn't have like any like heavy trucks, like none of these are heavy. I think this like these are off-road trucks. I think I'm gonna do something controversial. Detach that trailer. That might get me. That got me out a little bit. But now I have to pull this thing out, which is gonna be a nightmare. Boy, you go ahead. You go ahead and scout the area. Don't know. This truck just seems like a young boy. For some, it's got that energy. Whereas this other truck's like the mama, you know, the mama truck. Don't touch a baby truck around the mama truck, otherwise she'll get angry. Disown the child. Disown the baby truck, and then she won't ram you. That's another thing I've been watching recently. I think it's mainly this trailer that's absolutely wedged in there. Big mama truck's gonna solve all the problems, don't worry. Big mother truckers. What if I just pick it up? What if I just use the crane to lift the whole fucking thing out of there? There we go. Oh my. Jeez-o. Maybe that got it a little bit unwedged. Maybe. Please. Ah, no. Sometimes you gotta know when you're defeated and still persevere. No, I think be us. Make sure my trucks are turned off, but yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Let me get on to what am I looking for? Boom. Let me get onto my end screen. Oh, yay! Paprika again. It's almost like it's a theme. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's been lovely chatting, hanging out, playing this trucking game. I think I'll probably play it again next time. I've got a bunch of games that I would like to. That I would, yeah, like to play. Thank you, Alicia. You're welcome. I'm gonna set up a raid, I guess. Let's see who's online. Yeah, let's raid. /raid Lunar. Thank you. Oh yeah, I'll post my like zine up there once I'm done. Like you can find it on Issue, the first volume of it. I think my pinned tweet is the zine as well. It's been up there for a while, but yeah, thank you. We're gonna raid Lunar Shocker, so bye everyone, have a nice time and have a good night. See yas.